One of the most self-destructive traps you can fall into when dealing with a narcissist is seeking their approval. And I don't just mean overtly trying to impress them. I mean the subtle, almost unconscious ways in which you modify your behavior to avoid their criticism, to gain a shred of their acknowledgement, or to finally, just once, be treated with the respect you deserve. It's an easy trap to fall into because as human beings, we're wired for social reciprocity. When we invest in a relationship, whether it's personal, professional, or familial, we expect at some fundamental level that our efforts will be recognized. That if we just explain ourselves properly, if we just demonstrate our loyalty, our good intentions, our patience, then surely at some point the narcissist will acknowledge it and change accordingly. But that moment never comes. That's because narcissists don't operate within the framework of reciprocity. They see your efforts not as a reason to respect you, but as confirmation that they control you. Every time you contort yourself to avoid their disapproval, you reinforce their dominance. Every time you wait for their validation, you grant them power over your self-worth. And if you think that there's some magic combination of words or actions that will finally make them see you for who you really are, you are wasting your time. Because for them, the goalposts are always moving. The moment you think you've done enough, they'll find a new standard to hold you to, one they never intend for you to meet. It's not about you. That's the core realization. Their inability to respect you is not a reflection of your worth, but a consequence of their pathology. The narcissist's sense of self is fragile, built on an illusion of superiority that must be constantly upheld. They cannot allow themselves to be wrong, because to do so would shatter that illusion. They cannot allow others to be truly seen or appreciated, because that would mean relinquishing control. And so they move through life extracting, manipulating, diminishing, because it's the only way they know how to maintain their inflated self-image. Once you understand this, the correct response becomes clear. You must detach. Emotionally, psychologically, and where possible, physically. And that begins with one critical step. You must stop looking to them for approval in any form. That doesn't mean being rude. It doesn't mean retaliating with cruelty. It simply means removing yourself from the psychological game they are trying to trap you in. So how does this actually play out in the real world? It means no longer justifying yourself to them. A narcissist thrives on argument because argument implies that their opinion matters. The moment you start defending yourself, you've already lost, because now the conversation is being framed around their perception of you rather than your own intrinsic reality. Stop explaining yourself to someone who is only looking for ammunition. If they distort your words, let them. If they misrepresent your intentions, so be it. Their perception of you is not your responsibility to fix. It also means letting go of the need for closure. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn. We all want resolution. We all want that final moment where the narcissist acknowledges their wrongdoing, where they apologize, where they finally give us that sense of justice we've been waiting for. But that moment isn't coming, and the more you chase it, the longer you remain ensnared in their web. The only closure you will ever get is the one you give yourself, the decision to walk away, to stop engaging, to accept that their recognition is not required for your self-worth to remain intact. And perhaps most importantly, it means redefining your own source of validation. If you've spent years, maybe decades, adjusting your self-permission to fit the expectations of someone who is never capable of valuing you in the first place, then it's time to take that power back. Your worth is not something that exists at the mercy of another person's recognition. It is something you must claim for yourself. And the moment you do, the narcissist loses the very thing that made them powerful over you in the first place. Because in the end, the most radical act of defiance against a narcissist is simple. Stop needing them to see you. See yourself instead.